Now, I do want to say one thing before we close it out, because you did
Sure.
touch upon Chapek with some of these projects,
Yeah.
which is fascinating. I actually wanted to do a video on this the other day, but
Oh, okay.
the whole thing about the Avengers campus, the Mary Poppins attraction, he said, I think in that shareholder meeting, you mentioned it earlier, where we didn't forget about them. Basically, we didn't forget about them. They're going to happen, but we just don't know when because of the financials. Is that pretty much the gist of what he was saying?
I have his audio if you want me to play it.
Go ahead. Let's play it.
Yeah, so I was able to find the audio, and just for clarification for our audience, Chapek was directly asked from an investor in Anaheim, actually, a frequent Magic Key holder and annual pass holder, about projects specifically relating to WDI and Disneyland and Walt Disney World, specifically the attractions of the Avengers e-ticket attraction and the Mary Poppins attraction that was announced for EPCOT. And his question relates to, are these still on the table? What's the current status of them? And I think Chapek's answer is very, very interesting. So let me go ahead and play it right now.
Sure. Thank you for your question, Jaden. Obviously, we had to take a pause in our development of some of our capital-intensive projects, given the cash flow implications of the pandemic. But I must say that I'm very pleased that we've got so many projects that are underway. In celebration of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, we opened up Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. We've got the Guardians coaster that you saw inside the video, the Journey of Water with Moana coming as well, the new Space 220 restaurant in Epcot, the Harmonia show, the Galactic Star Cruiser, which again you saw in the video, Disneyland Resort. We've got Avengers Campus and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Zootopia in Shanghai, so on and so forth. So we've got a lot that we've continued to develop. Certainly the Poppins project, which I was very excited about, has had to be put on hold for a while, as has the QUINNJET. But those are projects that we've got sort of in a holding pattern right now. And as our cash situation becomes a bit more robust and a little bit back to normal in terms of our liquidity, we look forward to hopefully refunding those projects in the future. But thank you so much for being such a great fan and for being so passionate about your time at Disneyland.
That's interesting, and I'm glad that person was able to ask that question. And I was actually encouraged by Chapek's response. It sounds like it's definitely on hold. They're not canceled. It does seem like that QUINNJET is happening, but it's just going to be delayed. And even the Mary Poppins thing, which surprises me. I really thought if they were going to can something, I thought the Mary Poppins thing, it's like I say, it's not a hot IP. And then for Chapek to not only say it's just on hold, and that was one of his favorites, or that was something that he really loved, I think bodes very well for that attraction. I think that's probably going to happen too. So I think this is very encouraging for both of those projects.
I think each respective project hits a number of points for Disney as it relates to each individual respective park, right? So when you go to Epcot's in dire need of family like family-based attractions, right? Something that the whole family can do, and especially in some of those pavilions, in this case the UK pavilion, there's really not much for a family of four or family of four plus maybe two grandparents to do while in that section of the park. So I think for that, the Mary Poppins experience, from what I understand, was going to be mainly walkthrough. It wasn't going to be too expensive as far as part of a project, but it was going to deliver a much-needed attraction for that park and for the guests staying there. On the flip side, for Disney California Adventure, that park is also attraction-starved and really needs another big e-ticket. It really needs another big attraction to kind of wrangle people away from Radiator Springs Racers. That's been absorbing all the crowds from 2012 onward, right? It really does need another heavy hitter. This also goes to crowd flow for the entire resort. There's multiple reasons for that. Get people away from Disneyland, get people away from Radiator Springs Racers, sell maybe individual lightning lanes, and so forth. So it kind of hits all those metrics, and I think that's why those two respective attractions might still be might be still be going forward, just on pause right now.
Yeah,
Others not
no,
so much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said before, like with Marvel, it's just it's money on the table, and
Yes.
they're never going to find, at least with in terms of California Adventure, they're not going to ever find another franchise that can like out top the Marvel machine. Pixar, it's a big franchise. I love Pixar, but it's not Marvel. There's nothing else. So if they're going to put an attraction at DCA, it's probably going to be a Marvel thing. And if they already got the R&D and everything for that Quinjet, it's probably going to be that. So I'm pretty secure in that one coming. And the Mary Poppins thing is just gravy. I love Mary Poppins. Absolutely love Mary Poppins. And I'm really happy to hear that has not been canceled, because I really honestly, I didn't think that would see the light of day. I really did not.
I was surprised myself, actually. I didn't know he was so enthusiastic about it, because what I heard internally, it was like, oh yeah, that's off. They're never going to do that. But if Chapek's really excited about it, and really, honestly, it really does. I mean, there are Disney fans that really do love Mary Poppins and would love to see her included in World Showcase and in EPCOT, right? I mean, say what you want about certain IPs. I mean, some people are not so thrilled about Frozen taking up residence in the Norway Pavilion, for example. But I think everybody can kind of agree that it's like, yeah, Mary Poppins UK, that makes sense. Go. And like I said, it wasn't going to be like a super, it was going to be Quinjet 2, right? Right. we weren't all boarding umbrellas and flying all around everywhere. But it was supposed to be something that was really charming and kind of hit that family demographic, which EPCOT desperately needs, and that was kind of the route going forward with EPCOT before all, the Pandy and so forth.
Yeah, and Walt's connection to, well, not just EPCOT, but to Mary Poppins, is profound. He absolutely loved Mary Poppins. He fought tooth and nail to get that movie made, so it just feels fitting that she would get an attraction at the parks. I would love to see one come here to California, but it's fitting. It's a nice little homage to Walt. It's a nice little homage to just this character that he loved dearly in a park that he was very passionate about. So.
And let's not forget, I mean, Mary Poppins was a big reason why Mapo existed, and it was a huge boom for the company when they needed it the most. Going up to the 1964-65 World's Fair, getting them on a solid footing when it came to audio animatronic technology. Mary Poppins helped fund a lot of that kind of research and development because of its sheer success. So, Walt was very fond of the Mary Poppins story and everything, but he was also very grateful that it actually did as successfully as it did, because it provided the wind in the sails, so to speak, for his company going forward.
Yep. No, absolutely. And if you haven't seen, I don't know if you've seen it, Dre, Saving Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks, of course.
Love that movie. If you guys at home have not seen Saving Mr. Banks, check it out. That is a great movie, and it gives you a little insight into the fight that Walt had to kind of partake in to get those Mary Poppins rides. It's a fascinating story.
It is. And for us theme park fans, there's a little bit of Disneyland included in there too, which we don't often get to see in cinema. So that's pretty special.